Hey everybody, Belinda Wasser here. How is everybody doing? I am here. Even though it's warm out, I still drink hot tea all day. So I've got my VA Connection mug right here. And I'm excited to be here. I was just on another webinar with a client facilitating a few minutes ago, which was really fun. I learned all about procurement in corporations, which I really didn't know that much about at all. And it was interesting. One of my friends was on the panel, and sometimes you have friends and you know what their job title is, but you don't really know what they actually do. So it was kind of fun to see, into her world, into the things that she takes care of every day. And it was also, I can see why what she does is perfect for her. It was just crazy how perfect it was for her. So anyway, so everyone, thank you for coming. Like I said, you have to bring your tea. The ambassadors who are so fabulous in the big Facebook group, the Virtual Assistant Connection, they all get a mug. And so when we have our meetings, everyone tries to remember to bring your mugs. All right, so as we get started today, what I'd love to have happen is for you to start feeding me your questions in the comments. I'm going to, I have a few things I want to tell you about first, but today is really all about you, all about your questions, and making sure that you get them answered. So as you come on, also let me know where you're coming in from, how long you've been a VA, so we can get to know each other on this great call. All right, so, all right. So let's jump in. The first thing I want to tell you about, and it would probably be hard to miss, but I just want to make sure next week, and I can't believe it's next week because I literally have been planning this since January. Hello, Michelle. Hello. Glad to see you here. Next week, we're going to have the VA Client Kickstart Challenge. Let me show you where you can find that at this URL right here. And let me tell you what this is going to be all about, because I am so excited. All right, so it's 5 days, it's free, it's an hour. Noon, it's at least an hour. It's noon to 1 or until all the questions are answered. And what we're going to do is have 5 days of training, and we're going to talk about how to get a steady stream of clients. Like, no kidding. The first day is all about how to talk about your services, because you really need to be able to do that in order to get clients. The second day, we're going to talk about, this is pretty funny. We're going to talk about how to talk about your work, because if you can't talk about your work in a really succinct way, people will not remember what you do. So when we're new, we tend to talk. When someone asks us what we do. So I'm going to give you just like a 1 sentence to say and teach you how to make that work for you. The third day, we're going to talk about how to get the word out, very specifically how to get the word out. And then the fourth day, we're going to talk about all the other stuff you need to run a successful virtual assistant business. And then Friday, we're going to slide in with Q&A. One of the things that's so fun is that this has been so much fun for me, because you guys know I'm a total geek, right? So, there's handouts and there's homework and there's prizes, and the handouts were so much fun to format, and make the PDFs and little check boxes for the worksheets and all that kind of stuff. So that was really fun. And there's going to be drawings. So we're going to have drawings for some super cool things. Like one of the things, I don't know if you guys have one of these, but let me just show you. This is a Rocket notebook, and that's significant also because my VA business is called Rocket Girl Solutions. So this is a Rocket book. It's a notebook. See how thin it is? But you can write on the pages and then erase them. And so that's going to be one of the prizes. We're also going to have some of my very favorite business books, like Be So Good They Can't Ignore You. Love that book. And we're going to have 30-minute strategy sessions with me. So in addition to being able to take this challenge and really get started on getting some clients right away, there's also going to be fun and prizes. And we're going to use that wheel that we usually use, with everybody's name in it and the drum roll and all that kind of stuff, which is really fun. Okay, so be sure to sign up for that. There's also a pop-up Facebook group where I have been hanging out. I just want to see how many people have signed up for the challenge so far, so I can let you know. This is going to be big, big fun. Okay, so far, 862 people have signed up for the challenge. And we, like I said, we have a pop-up Facebook group. Let me just see how many are in that right now. Looks like 713. So there's going to be so much fun, because when all this collective energy gets together, you know, like stuff happens, really good stuff happens. And I go in every day and go back and forth. Everyone introduces themselves, which I love, and I get to know them and talk to them about where they are on their journey and what we're going to learn. It's just been really great. So I would love you to jump into the wave that's happening of that. There's other things available too. There's a resources page that I've created that has videos. This is the big thing, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. So I wrote a book. I did a thing. I wrote a book, and it's almost done, but I finished the chapter on getting great clients, and that is on the resources page. So everything I know, what we're going to talk about in the challenge, is in the chapter of that book that's on the resources page. There's also 2 really good downloads. One is the VA client. No, that's the name of the challenge. Sorry. There's a plugin tools apps. It's like a 29-page download that you can get that has all. You know how on Wednesday we have Technology Wednesday and everybody puts the super cool tools that they love? Well, we collected those all together, grabbed what description of it, and then bring it to you so that you can have all of these things at your fingertips. It's all categorized. It's really cool. That's on the resources page for the Facebook challenge. And there's one other thing. Oh yeah, the virtual assistant money-making task list. So 12 pages of all the stuff you can do to start earning money right now. But don't miss this, because it really, I'm so excited, so excited. Looks like somebody said, wow, I love that. Michelle, I love the little wow guy. All right, so let's look at the comments real quick, and then we're going to jump into, I want to just introduce myself a little bit. So hello, I'm Mona, tuning in from North Carolina, looking to get started in about a month as a first-time VA. Awesome, Mona, sign up for the challenge. Oh, the other thing, there's replays. So if you can't make it at noon, no big deal. You can still participate in the homework and the handouts and the contests, the drawings. There's a separate replay page for each day. Well, actually, yeah, technically there are, but you'll be able to get them all together. All right, so let's see. Very interested in starting a VA position. I'm really fast at typing, data entry, but that's about it. What kind of other skills should I educate and be expert at? Okay, so here's the thing. You get to start from where you are. You absolutely get to start from where you are. And I'm going to talk about that specifically on Monday in the challenge, because I know a lot of you think you need to do like click funnels and marketing automation and stuff that you may or may not even know what it is. I mostly do admin stuff, like today, what have I done today so far? Oh, today was like newsletter madness. So I did 5 newsletters in the last 2 days. So what that means is my client sends me the text, I put it into MailChimp or Constant Contact. So those are two, like if you want to learn something, I would learn about email newsletters. I do a lot of those. And it's not highly technical, high value, easy to learn, and and it's a really good skill. So when I started out as a VA, I knew Constant Contact enough to send out a simple newsletter. I knew Microsoft Office. I knew a little HTML because I made, are you ready for this, an AOL website for my nephew like a really long time ago. But other than that, it was just admin stuff, that I really knew. And I started out at $50 an hour, 10.5 years ago, almost 11 years ago. And now I do the same kind of work, and I make $90 or $100 an hour, depending on how much time people pay me for. They prepay my time, and there's a different price depending on how much. But you can do that. Fast typing. Sorry, I've been on camera all day. Fast typing is an excellent skill, and one that I have as well. So really great. Okay, so that's a good question. Thank you. But we definitely addressed that in the challenge. Excited for the challenge. Yeah, I know. I was nervous. Now I'm just excited. I'm just like excited. So, all All right, so let's just jump in because some of you are new. One of the things that's been happening is, I mean, the 800 people who have come into the challenge and the Facebook group have also joined the VA Connection Facebook group. So that's been growing by leaps and bounds. And some of you may or may not know who I am. So let me just briefly tell you my story, and then we're going to get to all your questions. So pour those questions right into chat for me. So this is me and my little, I like to refer to her as my delicious daughter, Emily. She was very snuggly. She's now 20 years old, and this was when she was 9. And I did not start my VA business in the most opportune moment. I didn't have my life all handled. In fact, it was really actually a mess. I had a business that fell apart. I had a marriage that fell apart. And the result of both of those things was that financially I fell apart. I hadn't been able to pay my mortgage for over a year. I was borrowing money from friends. I was, just trying to completely pull it together. And so now not only all of this is going on, but I'm a single mom, and I don't have help with that financial piece in any way. And I had to figure it out. And I didn't want to go back to IT. I like the work, but it's very demanding, and it doesn't really suit a single mom. You really can't, well, I guess you could, but I didn't want to just leave my daughter at 9 in our apartment, in Boston, and get on the T to go back to work. So that wasn't really an option. And so I decided, I'd been an admin. I went to secretarial school a million years ago, and that's where I learned how to type. And I decided to temp because I could start working right away. I get paid right away, and I wanted to see if that was the kind of work that I could do, because I did like administrative work, but I felt like I'd placed myself out of a salary in the type of environment. I mean, I could go back to corporate and be the executive assistant to a CEO, but if anyone's done that, that's like crazy. That's probably worse than IT. And then the other thing was, I realized doing temp work that I wasn't going to make enough money that way either, because the temp agency had to take a cut, which I get, like they're finding the work for me, right? So that's just part of the deal. So I figured out that I needed to go direct and work with clients directly. And I started telling everybody that I knew what I wanted to do, and pretty fast into the process of me just telling everybody, I mentioned it to one of the dads at the bus stop, and I didn't realize this, but he had just started a company that has gone on to be really successful. And he said, will you help me? Because he already knew me, he trusted me, because here I am with my daughter every morning for a couple of years, talking in the morning, just making small talk. And so when he asked me what I was up to lately, it made sense for me to tell him, but I would have told him anyway. So anyway, I started working with him. He needed me to pay bills. He needed me to go to the Apple store and buy computers and download software, ship the computers. I set up his QuickBooks. I'm not a bookkeeper, but I could set up a chart of accounts, a list of categories that he needed. And it went really well. And so I just kept telling people and kept telling people. And then what happened was I met someone at a wedding. I don't know actually how much time difference there was, but it was pretty soon after that. And he said, can you help me with an event I'm having? And I said, sure. So I met him at the wedding. I connected with him on LinkedIn, and then he asked me. It wasn't casual. I definitely made the effort to make the connection on LinkedIn. And so he sent me an email and said, can you help me with this? And I said, absolutely. So I set up the event. People could register online with Eventbrite because I didn't know any other way to do it, and he was fine with that. I hadn't even heard of Eventbrite. Someone told me about it. And I went to the event, and I sold his books in the back of the room, and I made the handouts and, really basic admin stuff, like put his logo on a Word document kind of thing and print them. And so that's how it really started. And it just kind of, it went from there, because I just got very systematic about looking for clients. And like I said, I'm going to tell you all about that in the challenge. So here I am. It's almost 11 years. It'll be 11 years in August. And I've worked with over 200 clients. So that's really been the biggest classroom for me. Everyone wants me to do something a little bit differently, a little bit, different software, different angle, different time frame, different. And so by being in over 200 client businesses, I've learned a lot, and I can share that information without breaching confidentiality with other clients. Like, hey, one of my clients who sends a newsletter, she resends it to the people who didn't open it 3 days later. Want to do that? Oh yeah. So bringing ideas that they really didn't think about. That's a lot of the skill that I'm able to bring, is to problem solve things like that. Because the I'll figure it out is the biggest skill a VA has. Because clients ask me to do things like, can you set up Zoom accounts for everyone on my team? Like, that's easy. They shoot me their credit card, I set it up, and there's not even any setup with that. It's not like I have to pick the background, or I just choose a password and let them know, put it on a spreadsheet. So there are a lot of things you can do and get paid for it that people consider high value, because they just don't want to do it themselves. And I've made over $1 million of revenue sitting in the exact chair that I'm sitting in now. However, it's been in different parts of my house, different houses. It's been in, I moved, I always forget if it's 3 times in 4 years or 4 times in 3 years. It was 3 times in 4 years. And, my place where I worked was always in a little nook somewhere, or, part of the bedroom. I am luxuriously in my own office now. It's very small. It's like not that much wider than my desk, but it's great. And I have a door, and I love it. And that happened because of the whole empty nest with all the kids that Greg and I have. They're all, most of them are on their own, or we still have enough bedrooms that it works out. So that's sort of the journey in here. This is what we look like now. This is us last summer. This is Emily. She's turning 20 on Sunday, which is crazy. And this is Greg, who is just the nicest man on the whole planet. And we're getting married. And I think maybe in August, I need to make some phone calls and find out. But the thing that being a VA did for me, that was the biggest thing, was that I got hope back. I got opportunity back. Because when I was faced with that much debt and that much, all the issues that go with that, I felt like I had made choices and I wasn't going to be able to recover from them. I felt like my life is going to be a struggle. Let's just deal with it. Put your head down, and, deal with the minimum payments, deal with whatever it is you need to deal with. And what I found was that being a VA, because I could set my pricing, because I could decide how many hours I worked, because I decided when there was a rate increase, I didn't have to wait a year and see what my boss was going to say. I was able to make a difference. And I was able to make a difference in my life and Emily's life, and my ability to support her. And I feel like for the first time, not even that long ago, I feel like sort of a regular person again. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, it was about less than a year ago. I guess it was over Christmas. I was able to buy her a used car from a family member, and it felt so great to be able to have, it wasn't expensive. It was like $3,000, but to have that money to just pay for it, and not have to figure out how to get a cash advance, or, how it's going to impact me. I just had the money, and it was there, and I could do it. And that was a feeling that I won't forget. That was really an important moment for me. All right, so that's my story. So really, I did this at 50 people. So if you want it, it's there. It's there. And I'm 60 now, and even being 60, you can still do it. I could see starting a VA business right now. It's definitely not too late for me. I have a full book of clients, and I'm busy every day. So you can do this. All right, so let's jump into our questions. So thanks for filling up the chat a little bit. I appreciate that. All right, so Michelle. Hello, I need help. What is a good finder's fee for outsourcing typically? I'm sure it varies from type of work, but I'm just curious if there's an average. Also, when does your book come out? I'll answer the book first, and then first let me ask you some questions. So when you say a finder's fee for outsourcing, can you say more about that? Do you mean like if, okay, hold on. What is a good finder's fee for outsourcing? So do you mean like if you find a vendor for someone and then someone hires them, they give you like a referral fee? Tell me if that's what you're talking about. Oh, you said, oh, I haven't seen the PM. I'm sorry. I've been with clients all day. We did a bunch of stuff today. So maybe you can tell me a little bit more about it here, and I'm happy to answer you. The book, okay, good. So the book is going to come out in a bit. The book right now is about probably 90% done. It's all formatted. Right now it's an ebook. And what I want to do is I'm going to finish it. I have a big announcement next week. And after that big announcement is announced and that gets rolling, this big exciting thing we're going to be doing, after that happens, I'm going to give the book to people that are in that new exciting thing and my VIP club, and get some feedback from them about, what did I leave out? What else do you want in this book? And I'm sure, because you guys are VAs, you're going to find a couple of missing periods or extra space, which is why I love you. And then what I'm going to do is probably in the fall, I'll self-publish it as a paperback book and make it available on Amazon. But that's the plan right now. Okay, so all right, Michelle, tell me what you're more about it, and we'll keep going. All right, any branding recommendations? So I need a little bit more information. So branding recommendations, I'll talk generally about it. Tell me if this is hitting it. Okay, I see your question, Michelle. All right, good, I got that. All right, so branding recommendations. So generally when you're getting started, you can have clients and no branding. I had 2 clients with no business card, with no business name, with no anything, because I just started talking about it, and you can do that too. Then what I did was, because I had less than 0 money, I found a mommy who I used to work with who, had some design experience, and we bartered a little bit, and she designed a very different logo from what I have now for me. And I just went with it. Was it fabulous? Not really. It kind of looked like the 70s, but I'm not a graphics person, and it was really all that I knew how to do. So that's what I went with. Now, I did make everything look consistent across my brand. So the color was fuchsia. There's a little mini rocket. There was like some smoke coming out of the rocket. And so Michelle has to go. Okay. So I'll answer it here for you. That's probably the best thing. And then eventually I got more money, and I was able to have everything rebranded with the help of a professional designer. Now you can go on Etsy, and there are some, if you're thinking about a logo or a palette of colors, I've seen VAs get something really very nice for $35, $40. So there are people who are willing to do that. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so Michelle says, if I hire someone for a client and I handle all the client-facing stuff, what's the typical finders or processing fee for bringing them on? So that's a really good question. I do not charge a finder's fee. You can. You can do that. I'll tell you, I try to keep things as untangled as possible. So let's say I bring my designer in, Mark, and the client doesn't want to use Mark, which that's actually happened. Mark is awesome, but he's not for everybody. So I bring in Kim. I was trying to think of her name. Kim. So I want to be kind of like agnostic, I guess is the word, not partial to anyone. So I've never charged a fee for referrals. I only refer people I've worked with personally or on other teams, because my word and my reputation is huge. If I were to refer someone who I hadn't worked with, I'd make that really clear to the client. Like, I know this person, I've socialized with them, I like them, I trust them, I have no idea if they're any good, because that's the truth. And so I do not do that. What I do is I get paid for my time. So if I'm working with my graphics guy and I'm managing him for my client, I get paid for that. I've also had people ask me if they could refer me for and get a fee, and I've always turned that down. And the reason I've turned it down is that I don't want someone outselling me, especially because this particular person was never their client, and I have a steady stream of clients coming in all the time just from client referrals or from different things we're going to talk about next week. So I haven't done that at all. So I'm afraid, and you really want to think about that, and how that might impact the relationship. All right, so let's see. Are there other comments and questions? Thank you. I'm very excited about the wedding. Yes, I was struggling with it at first because we have all these kids and COVID and all this stuff. And I think we finally come up with a potential solution. At first, we were just going to run away and elope. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a very small ceremony at a local restaurant with garden, and have the kids and our parents, if they can make it, and then go away for the weekend, and then have a honeymoon in the fall, which is very exciting. But all the kids a lot of them are scattering in September. My daughter's going to go to Europe for school, hopefully, and she wants to be there, so we're trying to figure that out. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? All right, sounds like I hit the branding question, so good. All right, so what else is on your mind? What else? What are you working on? What are you struggling with? I'd love to help you. I know there's a little delay, so we'll just wait a couple minutes. I was saying earlier that I was with a client all for a few hours. He did a roundtable, and we had a panel, and I was facilitating it. And again, something that you wouldn't think would be necessarily high value to a client, I was paid very well for, where I went into the Zoom room 15 minutes before with him. We talked about we talked about how we were going to handle the chat and the comments and things like that. And I welcomed everyone. I was in charge of admitting people into the room. And, welcome, we'll be getting started in a few minutes. We're so excited. This is going to be a great topic. We're going to talk about procurement, which they are all excited about. But really just sort of getting the room going. And then my client stepped in, and then my job was just to admit people. And if someone unmuted themselves by accident, to mute them or to manage them. I also took screenshots of everybody who was in the Zoom, on the participant panel on the side, and then also copied. I know you can get the chat afterwards, but it was his account and it would be more complicated. So I just wanted to make sure I did screenshots of all the comments so he could look at them. And then I created a spreadsheet with everyone who registered. Then I'm going to put down everyone who attended, so the people in his organization can then follow up with the people who were there, saying, what did you think? How did that go? And then the people who get the replay, they can follow up appropriately with, I know you just got the replay, if you have any questions. So it's really a sales tool, and my job is to facilitate that, to make it really easy for the team to go in and not struggle with the things that are easy for me to pull together for them. All right, so I'm very excited to be part of this group and very new to this, and find it very supportive so far. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'll certainly have questions going forward, but just so far, finding your way around. That's a really good point. Let me show you guys something. I hadn't thought about this. That's such a good idea. I'm going to show you around the Facebook group while we wait for some more questions. Okay, so let me just pull it up, and I'll bring it over to my screen. So for those of you who don't know, I've got 3 screens, which is like magic. And I'm just pulling it up on my screen over here, and then I'm going to pull it over to where you are. All right, so Facebook right here. Lots of action on Facebook. Okay, so here is the group that I imagine most of you are part of. Most of the time, so this is, you can see this is the admin view. Most of the time, this banner is very different, but I have that here like this because I want everyone to know about the challenge. And I want you to look at this section right here. I'm going to make myself smaller. It says guides right here. And when you click on this, all of the posts that have learning in them are organized here. So here, We had a spring accountability challenge. So here's a section with book reviews of books that I really enjoy. Here are job opportunities. So you can look through these to see, it looks like there's like 170 or 180 of them here. These are quick tips that I put out. They're all categorized right here. These are, the Rocket Girl Show is a show that I do twice a week. It's a 5-7 minute video, and it's all about one specific point of being a virtual assistant. And these are little snippets of those videos that are right here that you can check out. And then inspirational quotes. And then here we get into some meat. So right here you can see there's 115 videos on how to be a VA. Really fast. They're all less than 10 minutes, and they get right to the point. Like how to minimize client mistakes, how to make your business look more professional, how to keep your work organized. And there is a ton of these, how to get your focus back. So this is a treasure trove of information, and you can see the names are here, so you can really go through. Then there's a whole section on finding and keeping clients, client management tips. And this is just what's going on in the Facebook group. In addition to that, there's the VA Connection website where there are corresponding blog posts here as well. So this is really great as well. Productivity tips, tools of the trade, managing your business. So for all of you who are new, this is the place to start for sure, okay? And if you go over to the website, I'm just going to bring you over there really quickly. You can look at the blog, and here you can see these are all the categories: client management, getting great clients, pricing your services, productivity tips, tools of the trade, and virtual assistant business management. And we'll just click on pricing, for example. You can see lots of articles here, and it's longer than this. It's just, this is a excerpt, why you should keep your prices high. Be clear about your prices. Never give a discount. The key to raising prices, decide how much money you want to earn. So lots of different pieces of information specifically about running your business. So check all that out for sure in those two places. And then of course, right here in the group itself, we have ambassadors. And you know what? I did not mark the ambassadors. I didn't pin them to the top, but this, I love Meet the Members. I always read this every week. I love to see what you guys are up to. And what happens is, here we are, this Thursday, yeah. So these are our two ambassadors. They're usually pinned up to the top of the group, and they are here to really help you because this is a busy place in here. And so today it's Joe and Anne-Marie, mostly Anne-Marie. Joe's on vacation. She lives in the UK, and Anne-Marie's in Massachusetts. And they answer your questions. They're pointing you to useful information. You'll probably see them tell you about the guides quite a bit because, as you could tell, there's a ton of information up there. There's just, here's an example right here. We have the weekly webinar series once a week, and lots of information. So definitely check that out. All right, so here it looks like we have a question. My skill set is fairly diverse. I'm planning to start up. Should I just focus on 3 or 4 areas? All right, so definitely come to the challenge next week. If you haven't heard me talk about it yet, I'll put this slide up. So next week we're having something called the VA Client Kickstart Challenge, and I'm going to focus for 5 days on your services, talking about your business. I'm going to focus on how to get the word out, and then how to, in a broad sense, how to run your business after that happens. So here's what you want to do in a nutshell. When people say, what do you do for work? What you want to do is tell them 3 services. You only want to tell them 3 because otherwise you're going to completely overwhelm them. However, my services page, which I will show you right now. So I've been a VA for almost 11 years, and my business is called Rocket Girl Solutions. And here's my website right here. I still am an active VA. I have, I think, 42 clients right now. And you can see right here that my services page, I have something called Services Overview. And when someone asks me how I can help them, I only mention 3 things. You can see, let me get myself smaller here, how many things I can do. Now, some of these things are pretty simple, like screen answer emails, travel plans, webinar setup, customer surveys. That's just really Jot Forms or SurveyMonkey, finding out from the client what the questions are for the survey and then putting them in there. So I have this exhaustive list here, password management. I've been paid to help people set up LastPass. So you want to make an exhaustive list, I think, because what people do is they'll find themselves in here. I've had people say to me, brand new clients, say, I saw your service list, I printed it out, I'd like to start from the top and talk about how you can help me. I'm like, okay, like how great is that, right? They're all ready to go. So that's how I recommend you handling it. And on Tuesday, we're going to talk specifically for that hour about how to talk about what you do. There's a formula. It's really simple, and everyone's going to have that down, I hope, by the end of the second day. It's really good. And you're welcome. You're very welcome. And the other thing is, sometimes people, and I may have already said this because it's so important, but a lot of times people try to figure out what skills you're going to be able to make the most money doing. And I don't think it really works that way. One of my friends, he hurt his knee. He didn't have surgery, but he really hurt his knee, and he wanted to get it back. So he went to physical therapy, and then he went to the gym and was, working out and try to get it back. And his PT person, physical therapist, said, use the elliptical. The elliptical is your friend. It doesn't have a lot of pressure on your knee, and you can really get a good workout. So he's a good guy, joins the gym, or he goes to the gym and he asks the trainer, which elliptical is the best? And the trainer said, the one you'll stay on the longest. And I think that story plays out here as well, because I know when I am asked to do work that I don't like to do, that I'm not really good at, that I've said yes to because I thought I had to, I put it off, I procrastinate. There are things that I used to actually get in trouble about because I just didn't know how to do them and I didn't want to do them. Now I just say, that's not really my secret sauce, but let me see if I can find someone to help you, which is very different from sure, and then torturing yourself. So look for things that are interesting to you. That's a much better plan than trying to figure out what people will pay for, because people pay me to do $90 an hour to do things that you wouldn't think that is true. But the thing is that because I'm a generalist and because I do sort of common sense things, like help them with their email signature, things that I had to do in my own business, which is how I learned it, I'm able to help them. And that happened just yesterday. Someone wanted me to change the image in their email signature. Okay. I set up emails for people. Just go to Google, Google Workspace, and just, set it up. There are, what are they called? Wizards these days. You just click through and do what it says, and they have an email account. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, good. I answered your next question. Okay, thank you. All right, guys, what else is on your mind? I love these sessions. I look forward to them because, I never know what's going to happen, right? I was just thinking, I want to show you inside the challenge Facebook group as well, while you're coming up with some other questions. It can be about technology too, you guys. If you have specific questions about, about applications, I'll give it a shot for sure. All right, so let's, here we go. Again, this is going to be the admin view, but I think you're going to be able to see what's going on in here. So here is the VA challenge, the VA Client Kickstart Challenge. This is our Facebook group, and you can see, let's refresh. Maybe we have some new members since I was just in there a couple minutes ago. So there's 710 members, which is very exciting. I have a welcome email here, and then this got huge engagement. Okay, so using a GIF, describe how you feel about having a steady stream of clients. Wow, that's so fun. I spent like an hour last night looking at all of them and replying to them. But really, look at that. That is so funny. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen all these yet because I haven't been in here since last night. But I love this. This little girl makes me laugh. One of our VIPers, Robin Miles, she was the very first one who I ever saw use that. But it's so funny. This reminds me of Emily when she was little. She used to do stuff like that. She was crazy. Friends. And that's really funny too. You can kind of hear the song, right? Crazy. So we have the same thing here. We have the guides. We have the guides right up front here, and there's lots of information also. All right. Here's a question. Where do you usually get clients for your VA business? Facebook, LinkedIn, website, or elsewhere? I don't get them any of those places, and so I'm not trying to be obnoxious, but here's how it works. My clients find me, and there's a way that I've learned to do that that works. It's worked for almost 11 years. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the challenge, because I think a lot of you are struggling. You know, you're reaching out to people you don't know, or you're trying to do sales, which I don't know if I don't like sales. I'm very uncomfortable with sales. I don't prospect. I don't look for people to hire me. So my clients honestly find me, and that's what I'm going to teach you in the challenge. You know, I can tell you a little bit about what it is right now, but I'm going way into detail, and we don't have enough time to do that. And the other thing is, I won't do it justice, but there are very specific things, and I'm going to teach you how to talk about your business. On Tuesday, we're going to talk about how to choose your services, because I know that is a big stumbling block that people have a hard time with, because I think a lot of you think you need to be able to do ClickFunnels and marketing automation, and you don't. You don't, and you also don't necessarily need a niche. You definitely don't. It's less complicated than I think we make it, and I remember overthinking the heck out of it when I just started out. So what I want to do is just break it down, and the part that I need you to bring is to come and to participate, and then just to trust me. You know, if just to do the steps that I'm saying and trust me, because they absolutely work, and we're going to talk about that. And it's the part that's hard is the consistency. That's really the hard part. It's not actually what you need to do, and it's not icky. I don't find people on social media and start fake relationships with them or any of that, or even have a list of people I want to work with so I start to be friends with them. I don't do any prospecting at all. So come to the challenge, and you're going to find out. And you know what? If you can't make it to the challenge, it's all going to be replays. We have these beautiful replay pages, and you can binge. You know, like let's say you can't get to it until Saturday. You can just sit down and you know, I wonder if that's true. Is there a thing on Facebook? Well, we're going to download it. So I think that we're going to download it, and then we're going to upload it to Kajabi, and the Kajabi player allows you to make the speed faster. So if I don't talk fast enough and you don't want to spend the full 5 hours, you can make it go faster and zip through everything I'm saying. Okay, good. What social networks do you platform your services? I definitely look forward to getting involved with the challenge. Good. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, knowledge, talents, and skills with us all. My pleasure. Totally my pleasure. I love, love, love doing this. All right. So I think the question is, what social networks do I do for other clients? I think that's the question, right? So I don't really, well, okay. So let me answer that in a couple of different ways. The first thing is I don't do any writing. I write my own newsletters. I write my own social media posts. It all, you know, I write the Rocket Girl show. I write that because for me, those are things that I know about. I don't have to research, but I find that I'm not good at speaking in someone else's voice. And if you're going to write social media or newsletters or something, you really have to be good at that. And not only am I not good at it, I'm old enough to know it's just not going to happen. Like I'm not interested in putting whatever time it would take into that skill, and I'm already too busy to worry about it. So what I do is I create a spreadsheet for my clients, and let's say that all my clients who are on social media have websites, blogs. They have newsletters, sorry, newsletters. So I prepare that for them. And what we do is I create a spreadsheet in Google Drive, and I put the newsletters on their website. I put the URL, I put the name of the newsletter, when it was published, and then my clients go in and they pull like 4 quotes from the newsletter and they put it in a spreadsheet. Then what I do is, so for example, if there's 10 newsletters, there's 40 pieces of content for social media. And it's a longer conversation, but essentially I post those using a tool like Buffer. There are tons of other tools out there. I typically use Buffer with clients. And so I do social media that way, and I do LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. The other thing I do is clients will write newsletters and I'll post them on LinkedIn as an article. And then I'll pull an excerpt. I can do that. Like just take the first paragraph, put it into the, the little, there's like a place to share, and there's some comments, and I put that in there and send that out. Instagram is new to me. I started on Instagram with the VA Connection. I'd love for you guys to come over to the VA Connection on Instagram and follow me. I can do it for myself, but my secret sauce is really not like doing brand strategy at all outside of my own, my own world. So I don't provide that for clients. So mostly it's mostly LinkedIn and Facebook and a little Twitter. If the client's going to produce the content, I can certainly post on it. But it's really doing the tactical pieces, not the strategic thought leadership piece. I do not do that. And my clients are fine with it. They're fine. I set up the spreadsheet, I explain how it works, and I do it. And I've done social media for a lot of people, but it's really the execution piece, not strategy. Hello, Sandra. Would there be an opportunity to just work for a VA doing administrative duties for them, such as data entry, and not having to set up a business? Yes. However, you'll make a fraction of the amount of money that you would make if you set up a business. Because if you think about it, so let's say you go on your own, and a lot of VAs are in the like $35 to $50 range. So if they're making $35 or $50, let's say they're making $35. Let's say they're on the low end. Okay. So they're making $35. In order for them to make money and to support, their website and their efforts and their time, getting new clients and all that, I don't know how much you're going to make, but it's not going to be $35 an hour. So you can definitely do that. And it depends on your financial needs. It depends on your time constraints, it depends on a lot of things. And that might work perfectly for you. The difference is for me, in my particular circumstance, I needed to make as much money as possible because my daughter loves horses. We don't own a horse, but just riding one twice a week is a really big deal. And I wanted to work full time. I really like working. It's a thing, and it's always been a thing. So that's what I was looking for. But you can do that. You'll be more of a helper. Not that you won't be a VA, but you'll be more in that role versus a business owner. And you definitely can do that. There are a lot of VAs that do that. And that could be perfect, because if you don't want to be client facing, and you don't want to worry about, having enough money to pay people and, the website and all that stuff, that's a really great way to go. But just know that, and you could also start out that way. And, if you're feeling like you're not able to do it or there's too much, and I can't spill the beans because it's still a secret, but next week, late in the week, I'm going to tell you about something really fun I've been working on for a long time that could potentially help you with that. So stay tuned. It's all happening soon. I can't believe it's almost here. I really have been excited and talking about this since January, and I'm very excited. It's a good question. That's a really good question. What else do you guys have? We've just got about 10 more minutes. It's been such a productive day today. I've been really excited. Sometimes when you have compressed time, you have to really get in there. And I had 5 newsletters this morning that I had to handle before a webinar that was at noon. And I had to take a shower, and I had to eat, and I had to figure all that out. So I was like, boom, 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 just hitting them. And I did. And then I just was on a new webinar for about an hour and a half. And oh my gosh, this was crazy. So my clients on the webinar, and it went over, and it was just Q&A. And so he texted me and said, I got to go. And I said, okay. So I just, thank you to everybody. This was really great. And I just stepped in. And I was grateful for all the time that I have with you all, because I didn't get nervous, but in the past I would have probably not known what to say. It would have been really awkward. So I was grateful for that. And glad that I could help him. Yeah, for sure. So sign up for the challenge. Don't miss out on that. I'm thinking, is there anything else to talk about? Yesterday we did the weekly webinar on day in the life of a virtual assistant. That replay is still available. Oh gosh, I bet it isn't. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. If you're in the VIP club, it's still available. How that works is I do a webinar on a topic that hopefully you all want to hear about every Wednesday. And then what happens is it goes, it's available for 24 hours to the big group everywhere, and then it goes into the vault for the VIP club. So that's what happens over there. All right, I'm going to give it another minute and see, because I hate when I end this and then I see a question come up. No question is too small. Let me know. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming. This was amazing. I really appreciate your energy and your questions. Thanks for being in the group. Thanks for signing up for the VA Client Kickstart Challenge. And I hope you'll join me there, and I'll see you over there, and I'll see you in the group. I'm sure I'll be in there. All right, have a good rest of your day. Bye.